I watched the World Cup with $14 in my bank account. Not $14,000. Not $1,400. $14. 2 digits. A number so small the ATM would not even let me withdraw it. And on the screen in front of me, stadiums packed with 100,000 people. Confetti raining down. A tournament generating $13 billion in revenue while I sat there trying to figure out if I could afford bus fare to work on Monday. The 2026 World Cup is the biggest sporting event in history. 48 teams, 3 host countries, a record $727 million in prize money. And I was watching it from a couch I could not afford to replace, in a room I was behind on rent for, eating food I had budgeted down to the cent. How does your money situation make you feel right now? Not the version you tell people at work. Not the version you post about. The real one. The one that sits in your chest at 2 in the morning when the house is quiet and the numbers do not add up. I want to tell you what happened next. Because watching that tournament did something I did not expect. It taught me 3 lessons about money that changed my recovery. Not from a finance book. Not from a guru. From a football tournament that captures the entire planet every 4 years. 3 lessons. And the last one changed everything. Here is the first. In football, there is a saying. Defense wins championships. You can have the most explosive attack in the world. You can score 4 goals. But if your defense lets in 5, you lose. The attack gets the headlines. The defense wins the trophy. In personal finance, everyone talks about attack. How to earn more. How to side hustle. How to negotiate a raise. How to start a business. And those things matter. But they are the attack. They are the flashy part of the game. Defense is something else entirely. Defense is the 24-hour pause before a purchase you do not need. Defense is reading every bank notification instead of swiping it away. Defense is knowing exactly what is coming in and exactly what is going out every single month without guessing. When I was broke, I was all attack and no defense. I was hustling, grinding, picking up extra work, chasing every opportunity to make more money. And every time I earned more, I spent more. Not because I was irresponsible, because I had no defensive structure, no budget, no plan, no system to protect what came in. The National Endowment for Financial Education found that 60% of Americans do not have a budget. I was in that 60%. I had no defense. And every dollar I earned leaked straight back out through gaps I could not see because I was not looking. I call this the clean sheet approach. In football, a clean sheet means you conceded 0 goals. In finance, it means 0 wasted dollars, not 0 spending. 0 waste. Every dollar has a job. Every expense is intentional. Every purchase has been considered, not impulsive. A great goalkeeper does not need to make spectacular saves every minute. A great goalkeeper organizes the defense, reads the game, and prevents danger before it arrives. That is what a budget does. It is not a restriction. It is a defensive structure that prevents financial damage before it happens. The month I started running a clean sheet, tracking every dollar, categorizing every expense, reviewing every statement, was the month my financial trajectory changed. Not because I earned more, because I stopped bleeding. Defense wins championships, in football and in finance. Here's the second lesson. There is a moment in every World Cup match that breaks your heart. The 90th minute, the referee holds up the board showing added time, and the team that is losing has a choice. They can accept the result, or they can find something deep, something they did not know they had, and play until the final whistle. I almost quit my financial recovery 3 times. The first time was when I paid off a credit card and then had to use it again the same month for a car repair. The second time was when I saved $500 and an unexpected medical bill took every penny. The third time was when I looked at my progress after a full year and realized I had moved the needle by what felt like nothing. Each time I told myself the same thing. This is not working. I am not getting anywhere. The game is over. But it was not over. It was extra time. And extra time is not the end of the match. It is the most painful, exhausting, demanding part. The part where you are tired, where everything hurts, where every part of you wants to walk off the pitch and stop. But it is also where the comebacks happen, where the stories are written, where the team that refuses to leave finds a goal in the 94th minute that nobody thought was possible. Financial recovery is full of extra time. The setbacks, the surprises, the months where you do everything right and the numbers still go backwards. The moments where the universe seems to be actively working against you, throwing bills and breakdowns and emergencies at you, like a team throwing everything forward in stoppage time. I call this the extra time principle. When progress stalls, when setbacks stack, when you are exhausted and the finish line feels like it moved, that is not the end. That is extra time. And the only way to lose in extra time is to stop playing. The comebacks that mean the most are never the ones that happen in the first half. They are the ones that happen when you are broken, tired, and unsure, and you keep going anyway. If that is where you are right now, I need you to hear this clearly. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are in extra time. And extra time is where the story turns. Here's the third lesson, and this is the one that changed everything. Every team has a manager. The person who sees the whole pitch. The person who makes the hard decisions. The person who tells players the truth they do not want to hear, but does it in service of the team, not to destroy them. When I was broke, I had no manager. I had a critic, and that critic was brutal. Every financial mistake was met with a tirade. Every setback was proof that I was stupid, irresponsible, a failure. Every relapse into bad spending habits was followed by days of self-attack that made me feel so terrible, I went right back to emotional spending just to escape the pain. I was a player being screamed at by my own manager. And no player performs at their best when the person coaching them is tearing them apart. The shift that changed everything was learning to manage myself the way a great manager manages a team. With honesty, yes. With standards, yes. But also with belief. With patience. With the understanding that mistakes are part of the game, not proof that you do not belong on the pitch. Research into financial self-efficacy, the belief in your own ability to manage money, shows that this belief directly affects your financial outcomes. When you destroy that belief, through constant self-attack, you destroy your ability to follow through on any plan. You become a team that has lost faith in its own manager, and a team that does not trust its manager does not win. I call this the manager's mindset. Not self-criticism, not self-indulgence, compassionate accountability. You made a mistake. That mistake has consequences. You are going to address those consequences, and you are going to keep going. Because the manager does not bench a player for one bad pass. The manager adjusts, instructs, and sends them back out. Be the manager your financial recovery needs, not the critic that keeps you on the bench. 3 lessons. The clean sheet approach. Protect what you earn like a championship defense. The extra time principle. Keep playing when the game feels over. And the manager's mindset. Coach yourself with compassionate accountability, not cruelty. I watched that World Cup with $14 in my account. And somehow, in the middle of all that, a football tournament showed me what recovery actually looks like. Not a sprint, not a miracle. A long, grinding, strategic, beautiful game played over years by someone who refuses to leave the pitch. Your financial story is not over. The whistle is not blown. You are still in this match. You are not alone. And you are not finished. Subscribe to AJE Files because this is where people who are rebuilding come to remember they are not doing it alone. Save this for the nights when you need to hear it again. Share it with someone who is fighting the same fight in silence.